Bishop Taylor, and members of the annual conference. I regret that I'm not able to be here in person to present this report from the Commission on Equitable Compensation. An accident and the doctor's orders have prevented me from traveling. On behalf of the Commission, however, I would like to make the following report. In the broadest sense, this commission is designed to establish policies and procedures for our annual conference in relation to how budgeted funds will be used by the Cabinet to ensure that the ministers of the annual conference receive at least a minimum salary level. If you look at our report, which begins on page 44 in the Book of Reports and runs through page 48, you will see several lengthy sections that explain all the policies and procedures that have to be followed by the Cabinet as they seek to use the funds that are provided by the annual conference to ensure these minimum salary levels for pastors. Perhaps, though, this commission is best known for the fact that it recommends to the annual conference the yearly percentage increase in the minimum salary levels. In relation to those minimum salary levels and the recommended yearly increase, the Commission would like to stress to the members of the annual conference that there has been some confusion through the years. We want to stress that our recommendations are solely based upon what we feel is appropriate for those pastors that are at the minimum level. Our recommendations have never been a blanket recommendation to all the churches of the annual conference. This means that churches paying above the minimum salary level, while they might want to use our recommendation as a guideline, should not use our recommendation as the only possible increase that might be given. We strongly believe that those churches that are above the minimum should examine their own particular ministry situations and, if possible, achieve at least the minimum increase, but if also possible, to go beyond the minimum. Each charge will have to determine that on its own. And so we hope that you will understand that what we recommend does not apply to all the churches of the annual conference. It only applies to those churches that are currently at the minimum level. This commission meets in the spring of each year so that it can make a recommendation to the Conference Council on Finance and Administration. When we meet, we have access to the following information. For instance, in 2016, we had access to the actual expenditures of the Cabinet in relation to supplying supplementation to those ministers that would need it in order to achieve the minimum salary in 2015. We also had access to projections for the year 2016. Our goal was to come up with the number that would be necessary for the Cabinet to provide salary supplements in 2017. As you can see, this is a rather convoluted sort of timetable. If you look closely at the budget, you will also note that in years past we have missed the mark. We find that we are always shooting at a moving target because we just don't know what's going to happen in 2017. Therefore, we took a different approach with our 2017 budget request. Rather than simply trying to guess and making a small percentage increase to our budget request, we decided to base our 2017 recommendation on actual expenditures from previous years. This resulted in a significant increase in our budgetary request. We feel, however, that this increase is justified. We believe that we are supplying funds to the Cabinet so that they will be able to look at the various churches and pastors of our annual conference and will be able to supply the right pastors with the right churches. Sometimes that means that the pastor's salary will have to be supplemented to raise it to the minimum level, and that's where these funds are used. We have the utmost confidence that our bishop and our Cabinet will follow the various procedures and policies as outlined in our report, and they will use these funds in a way that will increase the overall ministry potential of our annual conference. With these things said, I now present this report to the annual conference. If you will look at page 46 in the Book of Reports, you will note that our budget request for 2017 is $242,000 and that we are recommending a 2% increase to the minimum salary requirements for 2017. Thank you, and here is the report.